be a phenomenal game number 2. My man Aussie Antics to break down the action.
Let's go. We're jumping straight in as well. Obviously, we have a weird bus path at this point, so if any of those players want to go to that far northeast section like Steamy, they're going to have to go a fair way. So that's going to be the safer drop, but then you're going to run the risk. Do you get the zone? So we'll see. We also have a high congestion of llamas, as we can see. There's one just outside Pleasant, 2 very close to Pleasant. There's a few players going straight over that one. So it's actually a very interesting split. This team that's dropped on Holly has uncontested Holly and has a llama, and currently no team in Slurpee. The most contested POI pretty much in solos or competitive in general has no one on it. So we got a team that yellow team is pulled up right next to it. They've got really good rotation if they saw no one go there.
If they recognize it early on, that's a great call out. Perhaps it's so famous that people are assuming it's going to be madness and they're avoiding it. That's typically what happens. So if you're an aspiring competitive player, hey, maintain your gameplay. Don't change your gameplay on land just because you're a little bit nervous or for whatever reason. Meanwhile, we see teams flying over Frenzy Farm. I thought we'd see Frenzy Farm be contested, but with 90 players total in this lobby, of course, at 30 teams of 3, I don't think we're going to see any contested drops, really. It's going to be some time until we see some fights here.
Yeah, it's interesting. I want to know who
that though, actually.
Yeah, I want to see who that pink team is. And we have,
yeah.
oh, okay.
Oh, wow.
All right, we have several trios together here. We've got some best mates going on. We have currently Laserbeam, Rel, Hughes, and what looks like Jinx and Brody and Molly. Okay, we have 2 trios. All gingerbread teams, they're best mating their way out of Risky.
This is a best mate conga line here at the Australian Open. Right now, my math is okay, but I'm pretty sure this is more than 3 players. So we see these guys messing around. I'm wondering who's going to be the troll that's going to ruin all of it and just triple axe someone to their elimination. But it looks like it's not happening. We're going to the road, the yellow brick road here.
We're best mating it out of here. I mean, my pick would be Laserbeam. I see Hughesy have a gun there. He might want to be careful pulling out that pistol. Maybe that's going to be a sign of threat, but this is interesting. We'll see how we go again. It's all for fun here today. As much as we talked about how insanely competitive last game is, maybe 2 trios who decided they want to have a bit more fun with it.
Aussie, I'm a little bit nervous because I just saw Zate to the left of my screen. This man has no remorse. He is going to absolutely laser these members. No pun intended with Laserbeam here. You might be getting lasered here soon, my friend. Or will Laserbeam jump on board? Hey, how long can this conga line go is what I want to know.
Maybe that's what they're trying to find out as well. It looks like they've definitely got strategy. And there it is. The snipe comes out on Benson. There are some pro players in here who are not playing around. And it was Zate, as you called it. Zate is currently in second, and he wants it. He sees the pre-elimination. I think, and he's just taking them all down. Zate's second place is going to probably jump into first after this. If he can pick all of these up, and they're still emoting in the distance. They're not running for their lives, and I think Zate is having some fun with it.
Zate is having, I think Zate just realized what happened.
Them,
he heard boos coming from the crowd here. It was a firing range, turned into, okay, I feel bad, I'm going to stop. I got one elimination. Make it
he took down Laserbeam.
He took down Laserbeam too.
Oh, the crowd's booing.
Oh, he's not done yet. That's a way to pick up some enemies here live at the Australian Open.
Geez, Zate needs to be careful trying to leave this arena later today. It's a competitive event at the end of the day, guys. People can have fun with it, but everything is on Zate. If he wants to take it seriously, it's for charity. He's currently in second place as well. They're having some fun with it. He's left them. Trust me, Zate, one of the best players in the world. If he wanted to take down that entire squad there, he would have. So he's having a bit of fun, still taking it competitively. We'll see how the rest of the game plays out for him.
You know what the best part right now is? They didn't stop best mating. They continued. Stop. Typically, you see them like chickens out of a coop running around and trying to survive, but they continued with their guns and they stayed exactly where they're at. Zate, you have an opportunity to keep getting some eliminations if you want, bud.
They stuck to their game plan. If their game plan was just a best mate for as long as they possibly can, they didn't split at all. Laserbeam getting sniped in the back of the head there, and they just kept walking on without him. There wasn't too much loyalty, but maybe the loyalty lies in the meme, not with the player executing the meme.
Yeah, honestly, memes greater than loyalty.
Yeah, maybe we see Muselk in there as well. Muselk, obviously the king of the meme strat. Landon trying to outdo him with this one, but we have a competitive fight happening now. Mitch Robinson, Slayer, and Mao, one of those trios we talked about earlier at Sweaty Sands, one of the more contested POIs, trying to get some damage into Exu. This is the team that ran into Fresh last time trying to rotate out. They are not having a good time today.
Look at Mitch playing with aggression, leading his squad right now. He has no fear going up against TSM Vinny. Let's see what he can do. Mitch made the switch to keyboard and mouse from being a controller player last year at the Australian Open. Vinny from TSM trying to survive right now with his teammates. Let's see what happens.
And look there, Vinny's trying to hold there. He's trying to hold those builds and keep his content creator and celebrity alive, showing that he's definitely a team player right now, not trying to make that single elimination out there. He's ramping out now, trying to get the high ground, maybe to get some control back on this fight. But Mitch Robinson, again, just taking the high ground. He is leading his team right now. We saw him with 3 eliminations last game, his 2 teammates with 0. So maybe Mitch is the pro here.
Mitch just maintained high ground over TSM Vinny. That's impressive right there. You don't see that happen very often. Big shot to Mitch Robinson. Let's see what he can do in this one. He has 5 builds left to his name, though, so he's going to have to use his materials wisely in this situation. Just hold that high ground, get some shots in. Great job for Mitch Robinson, maintaining high ground and playing incredibly well.
George Thompson trying to build above him right now, trying to hold those builds down. We see that pink team in the bottom right corner. They're trying to push in, but it looks like they're going to leave it. It's going to be a trio and trio fight here. But again, not every fight's a smart fight. Zone is going to start closing in. You touched on the mats. He's running low on them. He needs to take this fight. They need to finish this quickly and get out of here. They can't keep wasting time.
Yep, and he recognizes that he has George weak. And that's the exact strategy I mentioned when I was on stage moments ago, is you want to find the other celebrity or additional player, not the influencer or the pro player. Take that matchup if you're Mitch Robinson. He did a great job of that, finding George Thompson to get some good shots in him.
Yeah, Vinny's on the low ground right now. This is the pro we're looking at right now. The TSM player trying to go for high ground. He needs to turn this fight. He needs a big elimination. Dropping down. He's back onto the low ground. Exu can definitely hold his own here. He's trying to find his way. Slayer taking the wall on Vinny, getting in 50, 49, 21 shot. He's out of build though. He just takes down Vinny, living on 16 health. That is so important. If Slayer went down there, that's the pro. Vinny goes down. It is now down to Mitch Robinson, Mao, and Slayer with the numbers advantage. Exu going down as well. So I believe we have the celebrity by himself. No, the whole trio has been wiped out. And again, they're struggling this game. First game, they rotated to Fresh's team. Now rotating into Slayer's team. It's not where you want to be on the map.
That's so well done by Mitch and co right there. Very, very well played. Honestly, a very close one. Slayer was just 7 or 10 HP away from getting taken out by Vinny. It was an intense 1 versus 1, but in the end, it was Chief Slayer that comes out on top. A great 3 versus 3 fight, and 3 points to be picked up by Mitch Robinson and co.
And no way, Fresh's team now, he's obviously not a fan of the TSM players here. He last game took out Vinny, and now he's trying to do the same to Zexro, trying to find his way in. Zexro holding his walls here. Fresh is on the high ground. Enshway and Lachlan backing him up right now. They have the health and shield advantage, trying to get in onto Zexro. He's trying to take those cones and take those builds if he can. Everyone here's at land. They're all on the same connection. No one has the ping advantage when it comes to taking these walls. And we tuned in now. We have Jakey by himself with Zexro. So Sinazano has gone down, unfortunately. Jakey's just trying to stay with Zexro and see if they can keep this one together.
I look how damaged Zexro is, though. That's the pro player as well. So in this situation, if Lachlan, Mr. Fresh Asian, and co can just isolate Zexro, who actually is able to pop a med kit, well done by Zexro, or maybe using some fish for sure. They can take out Zexro early on, take that 3 versus 1, they can end up on top here. You want to kind of just spam this and play it ultra aggressive.
Yeah, it's interesting at the same time though. Fresh's team won the trio fight last game and then didn't get too far into placement points. I don't think they picked up any placement points. Yeah, they're still only on 4, so at the same time, some of these fights might not be going their way. They're winning the fights, but they're losing the war. They need to end this one quickly. They are close to zone, they're very close, but at the same time spent fighting is time spent not getting in a better position. They could win this one, rotate into a team that's already in the next zone, then they're going to struggle.
That's a great call out, and that's exactly what I mentioned. You want to play ultra aggressive because especially in current meta, there's not a lot of mobility, opportunity to rotate early. You can't just pop a jump pad or anything like that to rotate towards center circle. You have to rotate very, very quickly, and this might end up costing them, but it looks like actually, I take that back, didn't see the minimap at the bottom right of the screen. The circle's right next to them, so they're in a good spot.
Yeah, zone's coming in now. They're currently in the zone, so the animation there is not showing the true darkness, but they are in the zone. Jakey and Zexro are slowly ticking down. Zexro used the med kit they have, so he has no more health meds. Fresh is not letting them out of here. Jake trying to knock him down. Jakey might have done damage on Fresh. No, Fresh holding the high ground. 36 health total, 3 health, 2 health. The zone is going to take down Jakey before Fresh does. No, he finishes himself, and now we have one of the best OCE pros, toe-to-toe, one of the best NA pros, but Zexro is definitely on the back foot here. He is very low in health. Fresh trying to get in and finish it off.
Yeah, 15 to 20 HP total. Mr. Fresh Asian got the siphon, so what that means in competitive Fortnite, if you're able to get an elimination on someone, you get 50 health or shield. That was huge for Mr. Fresh Asian to try and stay alive. Zexro's able to heal up again to full health.
Off again. It's a 1v3, but I mean, they're keeping him in. They need to finish this out. They need to use their numbers advantage and maybe pincer him, close him in there and finish it off because they need this to end quickly. Zone is very close, but the next zone starts moving in 108 and they're going to be running with it.
I love how they're playing this. Enshway is just inside the zone, staying alive, playing support from afar, while letting the 2 pro or top players in their team, Mr. Fresh Asian and Lachlan, take the 2 versus 1 numbers advantage. That's a smart decision right there, knowing your personnel. We always say KYP, know your personnel in competitive Fortnite, and they're doing a great job of that.
100%. This is the team that I saw practicing all week. I touched on it earlier with Fresh's interview. They definitely had the play they wanted with Enshway set out. He is in zone, holding these players out, but Zexro just holding them off here. Fresh and Lachlan, they're losing more than what they've gained from this fight now. If they could have closed it out earlier on Zexro, maybe it could have been worth it, but honestly, I don't think it was worth it now. We're going to have to jump away from that one. It is taking too much time. We tune in with James Ward, Tweaks, and Blackouts.
Yeah, I completely agree. You got 2 eliminations, you got 2 points out of it, and I think that's a smart decision to back out and reset. We don't know how far the next circle is, as the storm's going to be closing in 20 seconds, so smart decision to back out and reset there. Currently on board with Cloud9 Blackout right now, representing C9.
One of our two South American players here today as well,
Brazil,
so he's rotating forward. Yeah, so I mean, still got very good English, so we don't have any of the communication here, but he is playing with Tweaks, one of OCE's better creative players, so he can definitely hold his own in a fight, and when he's got a World Cup player directing him, it's going to be insane.
Yeah, that's a great call out. We just saw Nyrox, speaking of World Cup players, the World Cup Duos champion, picked up 2 eliminations at the top left of your screen.
Oh, no way. We have Muselk's teammate Jordan going down, so Muselk trying to carry Ruben Styles through this, getting pushed by this same team right now with their professional down. Muselk again playing small in the pros. He's a very good player in his own right, but losing Jordan, that is a very, very big deal for this team.
You're spot on. And look who they're running up against. It's Elevate on opposite side of them. So they're going to be forced to fight a 2-front war here. Cloud9 Blackout, pro player from Brazil, and Elevate on the other side. That is not a sandwich you want to be a part of. He's doing what he can.
And then we're talking to the twins. We had the other brother, Jesse, rolling up here now in a boat. Maybe going to be able to do some damage to, unfortunately, his brother's team. Muselk using Steamy Stacks beautifully, flying out this one. Needs to be careful, though. If he spends too long in the sky with this many good players in the lobby, and he doesn't, he's going to get up on top of here. That is a very, very good play for Muselk. He's taking some shots here. No, he's not going to. He's going to let Jesse fly past. He needs to know he has the numbers disadvantage. Zone is coming in. He just needs to get in.
Yep, circle is pretty close. As you can see at the bottom right of your screen, you see a mini-map. So it's going to be a pretty solid rotation for Muselk if he can get out. But look how many players are on this mini-map right now. It's dangerous waters for Muselk, who in my eyes, one of the most entertaining players in the world. So much fun to watch. And he's also a solid competitive player as well. I don't think he gets a lot of respect for that. I don't think he gives himself enough respect for that. But it's fun to watch him in competitive scenarios as well, even though he makes a lot of fun out of it sometimes.
Definitely. We see Mitch Robinson in the feed taking down Loser Fruit. He's been doing some serious work for one of the celebrities here. Tweaks and Blackouts now trying to hold this team in zone. They actually lost their celebrity in that rotation, so it looked like everything was going their way, but they actually end up losing a player for it and not gaining an elimination. So we're going to have to see Blackouts trying to find these angles. Like I said, we're flying in the air for too long. You've got players like Blackouts looking at you. I'd expect some serious damage to come out of the 22. Player dropping down. Muselk choosing to drop down. 2 more AR shots to the body and he'll go down. 1 if it's a critical shot to the head. He's got the med kit, but he is going to be shambles for the rest of this game. Wow. I don't even know where Ruben is. They have definitely been split.
Ruben's somewhere. Ruben is somewhere just hanging out.
He's okay though.
Peek and Duck is doing everything he can just to survive. He's clearly okay. I want to point out how smart that was from Muselk. He waited for the last possible minute to rotate, tried to just stay out of everyone's line of sight, found a nice spot to move to on the rotation, and then was able to pop that med kit, hit a nice bunny hop as well as he had some momentum from the glide. So heads up play from Muselk right there. Ruben Styles is clearly doing his thing as well. Peek and Duck represented here today.
Definitely. I mean, if it wasn't for how stacked that first game is, I would say Muselk's trying hard, play for placement points. But man, you're not getting placement points in this lobby unless you make it to at least first rotating zone. So for you guys who aren't as competitive inclined, that's very late in the game. That is very, very late to be getting placement points. So Muselk's going to have to do something to get back in here. But we have Tweaks, Jesse, Tanner, and Blackouts. It's 2v2 right now. And this is 2 pros and 2 content creators going head-to-head. So both of their celebrities have gone down on each team. Trying to find these angles. Blackouts finds his way in with a very heavy shotgun shot.
Yeah, that's a great shot. He knows he has an advantage right now. Trying to heal up is Jesse. He's going to get tagged up significantly. Tanner's going to go down as well. Cloud9 Blackout representing C9 and representing well as Jesse is now in a world of hurt trying to survive.
Yeah, it's 1v2 against 2 very good players here. Tweaks will probably be the first one to try and get into that box for sure. Never mind, it is Blackouts taking down Jesse, so we've lost both the twins here. Unfortunately, that team is now out of it. Blackouts and Tweaks on 4 elimination, 8 points total, rotating in, and they've got a very good spot to rotate right now. We tune into Alex Ace, James, and Elevate on the high ground, showing some of that experience, and Muselk, he is not having a good time of it right now. He is struggling to get his way back in, being held by 2 separate trios in the water. He is doing everything he can. Nades are coming out. This literally cannot get any worse for Muselk.
This feels like storming the Normandy right now in World War II. Muselk against an entire Axis army trying to survive right now.
Trying to get his way back onto the beach if he can. I mean, he's gained the bandages. Honestly, I am so impressed with how Muselk is playing. He's in a bad situation, but it's one he was forced into, and he's doing the best he can with it.
So, moving back over, we've seen so much early game action, so a lot more aggression as we predicted than we're used to seeing competitive Fortnite. I expect the solos to be a little bit less aggressive and a little bit less action early on. Of course, we will have a $400,000 solos tournament tomorrow. Today is a pro-am for $100,000 to go to charity, and we've seen some great gameplay so far.
Yeah, and I think, unless we haven't seen him too much, we haven't tuned into our winning team from last game, but I just saw Luda there. It looked like he was alone. He is alone, as I was just touching on. Shantis has gone down, so has Oliver. So Luda, our winning team from last game, 23 points, now 24 without eliminations. I talked about pros can't play it out solo, but Luda's going to have to here.
Yeah, Luda, of course, the champion from the last game, doing what he can to stay alive in this one. Got some good shots on Ken Kavrik, who's a tennis pro junior. However, I saw a quick 90-degree turn, or 180-degree turn, sorry, and build. So my man Ken, the tennis pro junior, might be a solid Fortnite player here.
Definitely. We have Mouse, Slayer, and Mitch there all together as well. They're a full trio. We have Symmetrical's team in there as a full trio. So we have a lot of teams left. We have 47 players alive, as you can see in the very top left, and 21 of the 30 teams alive. So you gain placement points based on the team numbers. So once we get into that top 12, that's when you start getting placement points.
Well said. We also saw Symmetrical coming from NA West member of Counter Logic Gaming, or CLG, top player in North America. I believe just got signed by CLG, I think right after TwitchCon in October timeframe. So congratulations to that. My man Musak is now fishing.
So is Ruben.
So he went from the beach of Normandy in a World War II scenario to now it's like he's Tom Hanks.
Just casually fishing his way. I want to see where Ruben is. Where is Ruben on this map right now? There he is in the very bottom right, that number 9 as we see it float off the screen. So Ruben is somehow holding himself solo, split away from Musak. We have a lot of teams left. We see Sam's team, they're dead center right now, and they're a full team. Papi, solo again, unfortunately. He's lost his players. We have Cease, Stevie Nicholson, and I believe they had all 3 players. Then Bumper, yes, that is a full trio as well. We have a lot of good trios. Luda in a fight right now, trying to keep his team alive. If he wants placement points, he has to survive this one here.
Yeah. Just trying to do exactly that. In this scenario, you just kind of want to, like a rat in a tunnel, survive as long as you can, create tunnels for yourself, and make it to late game. Luda doesn't want to make a lot of noise, but also has to rotate. Tough situation to be in. Meanwhile, someone who's in a great situation is 100 Thieves Elevate, the winner of WSOE 3, the Fortnite showdown back in December 2018 alongside Cease. Got picked up by 100 Thieves soon after that and has been one of the most entertaining Fortnite Pro players ever since then. If you don't follow this man on Twitter, you should. He posts some great clips on YouTube, and he is very funny.
He's definitely very, very funny. He's definitely some of the two jewels in the crown of 100 Thieves. Musak is holding his way, and he's doing so well to hide right now. This might look like not the best strategy, but honestly, right now, if he can wait till his teammates rotate past him, and then he can go in behind them, Elevate looking phenomenal with the loadout, and then you have Musak who doesn't. He needs to play to his advantage. There's Ruben, who is boxed up in the zone safe. I have to assume that is Jordan in his ear helping him right now. I'm sorry, I don't know how any celebrity could know what to be right now. That positioning is perfect for a solo split from his other teteammates.
But meanwhile, remember, Musak is on Ruben's team. Yeah. So actually, Ruben has better position than Musak does. Musak's playing this incredibly wise. This is what I mentioned, where he's a very smart player competitively. He's going to wait for everyone to rotate, and guess what? He has 3 tunnels, doesn't have to use a build. He can just follow suit where that team just was. Smart play from Musak, just bobbing his head up and down the water.
And Elevate with this epic burst rifle, trying to do some serious damage. Only has 46 ammo. Hopefully his teammates might have some. They're trying to get the shots in there. Neko going down, trying to find the elimination on Ellie as well if they can. Pick up the 2 eliminations. Trying to use this fishing rod. It might look a little bit strange, but with that fishing rod, you can pull the loot off the elimination you just got and bring it back to you without having to push out and get it into the danger zone.
Yeah, that's a play. Elevate, I don't think took out Ruben Styles. So Ruben's actually did a good job boxing up. And when you're in that situation, you're alone, you want to build a lot of boxes so you look bigger than you actually are. That way people think you're a trio, you're a duo. Ruben did exactly that. He built 3 boxes, 3 little houses for himself, and now he's just chilling in the water. Heads up play from Ruben Styles. Is Musak still alive too?
Musak looks like he's still alive. 1-6. He'll be the red icon. No, I think he has gone down. It's just Ruben, but he's also in medals. Then there's Musak. He has been knocked. He's so close to Ruben though. Ruben might be able to get the revive on him. He might pick him back up, and Ruben is currently sitting in fully built metal. Fully built metal you cannot see through. There is no gaps in it. They have no idea anyone's there, and it looks like he is. Ruben might get the revive on Musak. I don't know if he's going for it. I don't think so. We have a lot of players on the high ground, though. That team doing insanely well to try and get themselves back in it. But I am noticing Lachlan's team up on the high ground up there. I'm not. Luda's still holding it down as well. So our winning team right now, Luda, he's still going it solo as a pro. Lachlan on the high ground with Enshway and Fresh. I would have to assume they're going to close this one out. They are in the best position possible.
Guess who it is? Lachlan's still alive with Mr. Fresh Asian, and they have ultimate high ground right now. So the fan favorites here, Mr. Fresh Asian and Lachlan in a great position to close this one out. Meanwhile, 100 Thieves Elevate, picking up some limbs. His duo, Cease, on a different team here, picking up an elimination as well, top left of your screen. Zate, the other pro player, doing it as well. So that's at least 3+ eliminations for Zate. Looking pretty right now in the elim category.
Currently in that second place, but right now it's all about positioning. We see Nyrox there on the left of the screen too. He needs to get in. Papi rotating around on the bottom side. Solo again, we see Epic Whale, one of the favorites tomorrow, but also in a very good team. Epic Whale, Magma, and Baker Boy on that low ground together. The high ground is an advantage right now for Fresh's team. If the zone keeps pulling back up towards them, they're going to pick up so many eliminations. You have to assume the win. We have Chief, Slayer, and Mao here. Mitch Robinson unfortunately going down. One of their power players, the celebrity for that team, and they're using this high ground advantage. This is a very interesting zone. Not many zones in the current map will pull off the mountain like this. This is a very high elevation. See, they're dropping down. The problem is that zone goes back up now, and you don't have the mats. You are stuck down here with no vertical rotation.
Yeah, that's a great call. That's the teams we talked a lot about. Chief Slayer, Mitch Robinson actually just get taken out, but look who it is still. It's Lachlan, Mr. Fresh Asian with ultimate high ground. The best position to close this one out. Can they do it is the question here. Aussie Antics
I think they can do it, honestly, right now. They're in the best position, and I just saw something so hopeful there. Enshway, the celebrity, editing up through Fresh and not bringing him down. This is such team coordination. I would have expected to see this in competitive trios. If I tuned in, you had no names on, I would assume this team on high ground, rocking the tennis skins, was a full competitive trio. Shots coming out now on Benji Fishy, one of the favorites coming into today. They need to start rotating through though, and they get Zone. Zone has come back up the mountain. Lachlan, Enshway, and Fresh are in an insane position. I cannot overstate, this is pretty much the best position you could possibly be going into this endgame.
That's a great call out. To break down what you just mentioned there, when there's natural cover like a mountain, you obviously can't destroy that mountain, so it's really difficult to have to build your way back up the mountain if you're at the bottom, and the circle is going to rotate in competitive Fortnite, so that circle is going to now move all the way slowly but surely to this new circle in moments here as it's happening slowly. Symmetrical and Co in probably one of the worst positions.
Yeah, they're rotating through. He's keeping them very well. Symmetrical showing his competitive prowess here, building beautiful tunnels, and then Fresh, Enshway, and Lachlan tarping across. Unfortunately, Lachlan's by himself now. Enshway and Fresh gets knocked down. This is where things will get really ugly for people like Enshway keeping, and Lachlan goes down. They go from being in the best position to the worst because they were just that little bit too far apart. But then again, Fresh can close this one out. He is good enough to do it. As I say, that 39 takes down Bumper though, so he'll get the siphon on that elimination. 89 health, has the minis now, but it's down to him. Enshway and Lachlan have both gone down.
Mr. Fresh Asian always finds a way to perform when it matters the most. Finds one elimination, gets the siphon 50 health, and takes too many potions. He's right back where he wants to be. Epic Whale, one of the top players, gets taken out as well from NRG. Cease with high ground right now, so it goes from Mr. Fresh Asian having high ground to guess who it is? It's Papa Cease right now, holding it down with 6 eliminations.
And Luda just went down, but he gained the first set of placement points. So Luda's team, who is in first, just gained placement points as a solo. He carried him there, but he went down. Unfortunately, Cease is solo, 11 health, needs to be careful of that zone. This zone will do 10 damage, and there Cease goes down. Airwax going down. Fresh is holding this down his own. Fresh didn't go down there. He is back in this game. When we tuned into him last, he was absolute shambles, and now he's looking amazing, battling for height against Zayt, two of the best players in the world. Zayt coming second last game. He might be able to close this out. You have to assume with Luda's team going down that his team will jump into the lead if he keeps closing this out. Fresh trying to break the builds down as Zayt tries to get down.
Look what he has in his pocket though, as you said. It's a blue RPG trying to break the build. Smart decision not to try and force the build battle there, but he can use this rocket to his advantage right now.
He's going for the flopper play. He's got the fish, so he's waiting late here. Zayt's on the high ground. He's going to knock it out. Zayt didn't think there'd be anyone behind him because Fresh has these fish, so right now Fresh is taking a large amount of storm damage, but he has those orange fish that he can use for 50 health back within half a second. Symmetrical now battling the NA Pro as well. Zayt goes down. Our current team in second. Fresh is on the high ground. We see Symmetrical down there as well. Elevate, Twisty. They're going for right now 3 teams alive, 5 players.
And such a heads-up play for Mr. Fresh Asian, waiting for Zayt and taking high ground back. That was 1,000 IQ from Mr. Fresh Asian, who completely flipped this round on its head and regained control to win this game. Mr. Fresh Asian is playing near perfect Fortnite right now. And guess what? We got Symmetrical versus Mr. Fresh Asian, a 1 versus 1. It's good old-fashioned.
It's OCE versus NA right now. Fresh can close this one out. He was so modest earlier today that he doesn't think he can stack up against these international pros, and I think he can. It's a 1v1. Symmetrical look at the RPG comes out, and Fresh closes it out. The victor of last year's Pro-Am coming out on top today. 23 points total. They come back in game 2.
Can you believe